leafiest game of the season? No. Why not? Well, they won. We'll start there. That's fair. That's very fair. But they blew the 2-0 lead? No, that's not really what this year's Leafs are known for anymore, you know? That was the afternooniest game. Good word. Let's go! Do you have a humiliation kit? This is all I ask you to do. I'm having a great finger flick. You're allowed to show up. This team is ruining my life. I'm taking crazy pills. With you, wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Victory, puppies, Iggy! At some point, you know, we're going to have to start asking how. They don't ask how, they ask how many. That's not true. They actually pour a lot of resources into asking how. And the how is, it's quite concerning right now. Oh, you know, just a little high-octane pond hockey on a Sunday afternoon. Leafs win 6-5 in overtime over the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't know what I'm happier about. The 2 points, you love 2 points. The win, you love a win. But I think the thing that I low-key love the most, the Leafs still have not been in a shootout this season. 60 games in! 60! Not a single shootout. It's awesome. Listen, we've talked about this before. Let's talk about it again. They don't ask how, they ask how many. No, this is the stretch right before the playoffs. This is absolutely when you ask how. How does my team stack up against the other playoff teams in the East? Well, okay, we'll get into the nuts and bolts of this game, but here's why the win in any form is vital. With the win in this game, the Leafs overtake the Florida Panthers for first place in the Atlantic Division once again. So, the Leafs are 8-2 in their last 10 games. Wow! The Leafs have won 5 straight games. Their last loss came before the Four Nation face-off. Wow, they must be running away with the division, right? Nope! Wrong! I hate this division a lot! The Leafs are 8-2 in their last 10. The Florida Panthers are 8-2 in their last 10. Oh, those pesky Panthers. Well, guess what? The Tampa Bay Lightning are 9-0-1 in their last 10. The Atlantic is a sick joke. You're telling me the Bruins might miss the playoffs this year, and you got this monstrosity next to the Leafs. Listen, if the Leafs win the division, they win the division, and if they don't, they don't. It doesn't guarantee you anything if you win the division. We saw that in 2021, but gosh, it would help. Now, this is Sunday. It's Sunday, the week of the trade deadline. Leafs got another game tomorrow, and they got a few more this week, but main takeaway, trade deadline at the end of the week. You want your team playing their best regular season hockey down the stretch heading into the playoffs. At 60 games played, I'd say we're just about there. But we're not quite there, because what are we also forgetting? Very often, the quality of ice hockey during the week of the trade deadline is trash garbage. Case in point, the Leafs' first goal 2 minutes into this game. Penguins flub it. Nick Robertson, who is just a hustle monster recently, shovels it in front. Bobby McMahon goes to pull it to his backhand. He actually flubs it and loses it. And Max Domi, on his birthday, puts it in! His 4th of the season. 4! The birthday one gets one. Maximum Domi. Haven't gotten to use that bit this season. Holy cow, can you score? But foreshadowing for the things to come in this game, because the Leafs scored a nice goal that was actually full of mistakes. A little over 2 minutes later, this one's actually nasty. I'm sure if you're a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, you're looking at this like, it might be nice to get a save out of Blomqvist here. This is a nasty shot. Connor Timmins comes in. He's got a lane. He's got a path. Would you shoot it? Yeah. Rips that thing far side. That's a beautiful shot. Just his second goal of the season. The Leafs have a 2-goal lead less than 5 minutes into this game, and the combined goals for these guys on the season is 6. The Leafs are running Pittsburgh out of their own building. Like, out of Pittsburgh. Out of Pennsylvania. They have to play in, like, Maine now or something. I don't know if that's a neighboring state. I just know it's in the Northeast, kind of. I didn't have to memorize the map in school. I'm in Canada! The Penguins start to take the game back a little bit, but not really. The shots are 13-3 at the time this goal goes in. Strong play from Lizotte behind the net. I thought Shea got this goal, but it's Cody Glass. Nuts! Oh, darn. And the Leafs' 2-goal lead is now cut to 1. Well, you know what, though? They're still dominating the game. When they were up 2-0, which was a moment ago, I thought to myself, you know what? It's still hockey. You're just like a couple bad plays away from, oh no. It's not gonna happen though. It's not gonna happen. Then this goal goes in, making the shots 13-4, and I'm like, oh, it might. And then it did! Ricard freaking Raquel! Dude, here, can I just say something? Is he available? Like, not for a date, although I will if that's what it takes. Like, can the Leafs get him? Brad! He buries his 27th of the season. He's been unreal for Pittsburgh. And oh, that's not the Joseph Woll I know and love. That looked a lot more like Onosif. What was that? Before Joseph Woll allowed this goal, before he allowed any goal in this game, I thought he was looking a little uncomfortable. It was difficult to get too much of a look at him on account of the puck was always in Pittsburgh's end for the first few minutes. But he looked the way every struggling goalie for the Leafs over the last decade has looked when they're struggling. His movements are insane. Like, they're just way too big. And when you make a movement that's way too big, you find yourself out of the net, and that's not what you're supposed to do. Actually, if you're a goaltender, tend the goal! See, it doesn't just apply to playing the puck. It applies to saving it! Also known as tending the goal. And now all of a sudden, the first 10 minutes are erased. Max Domi goes to the box, and instead of being the goal-scoring birthday boy, it's you liability! Why? Answer me why! And then Sidney Crosby, what? How did that? The conundrum. The conundrum of, that you should have saved that, and but it's a really good player. Sidney Crosby, known for one of the most deceptive releases in the entire NHL. Always has been. For 2 decades he has been. You like a save? Listen, before we even get to the end of this game, let's call this what it was. Probably Joseph Woll's worst game of the season. But hey, that's good. I kind of think that's a good thing, and I'll tell you why. It's easy to pin this as Woll's worst game of the season. 5 goals against. But you know what? Like, lots of goalies allow 5 goals against. The Leafs just played one of them. A lot of fans have been brutally unfair to Joseph Woll this season. I think for a couple of reasons. Well, maybe 3. Number 1, the job of a goaltender is very thankless. Number 2, he began the season hurt, and it didn't matter how well he played when he came back. Fans were still always going to be nervous about that. And number 3, Anthony Stolarz has been straight up one of the best goalies in the NHL whenever he's played this season. And even he got hurt this season, and he has an injury history, but yeah, he just got here. We don't know him as that guy yet. He got hurt once, he came back, he's been fine. We don't know him as that guy, he's fine. The conversation is starting to creep up more and more. I mean, geez, we had this conversation in the fall, but now it's legitimate. When the playoffs begin, Leafs probably go back to starting only one goalie. They're not going to alternate. That so rarely happens. Who's it going to be? The answer has been more and more clearly Anthony Stolarz. And to me, it hasn't been about Joseph Woll being bad. Stolarz is just otherworldly. Forget giving his team a chance to win. Every night Anthony Stolarz gives his team a chance to steal one. And for a long time, it's like, yeah, but Joseph Woll is good too. Did you guys not watch the playoffs? When he got hurt, yeah. But before that was a bad game from Joseph Woll, though, and you know what you so rarely say, in fact, I can't think of a night where I have said it, that's a bad game from Anthony Stolarz. I think Joseph Woll would comfortably be the starting goalie on, like, half the teams in the league. Probably for the team the Leafs played tonight. He just happens to be playing next to Anthony Stolarz, who is tied for the highest save percentage in the NHL with a .927, tied with Connor Hellebuck. A goalie so good, he almost won the States the Four Nation faceoff. There are 3 goalies in the NHL who have played 20 games or more with a save percentage of .920 or higher. Hellebuck and Stolarz are flirting with .930. The third guy is Andrei Vasilevsky, by the way. Might explain why Tampa's suddenly become unbeatable again. So here, let me help you. Joseph Woll bad game does not equal Joseph Woll bad. Joseph Woll not having as good a season as Anthony Stolarz does not mean Joseph Woll bad. I'm telling you, if you just watch the Leafs this season, you're not going to get it. Look around the league. Teams are dying for the goaltending that Woll provides. Forget Stolarz. The Leafs have an embarrassment of riches in net for the first time in a long time. Both your goalies are healthy? Great, you got a chance to win every single game. Need I remind you of the years where it was pointless to watch the second half of a back-to-back? Steve, that's a bit harsh. Yeah, you got a Michael Hutchinson jersey, do you? Yeah, no, exactly. Anyway, second period, the Leafs are somehow losing 3-2 to the Penguins after all that. Luckily, the Leafs didn't take long into the second period to tie things up again. I've been looking for new combinations on that top line. You know, maybe you can separate Matthews and Marner. That line's disgusting. Marner with his 57th assist of the season on this one. Knies gets it to Matthews, and Matthews with a bullet 5-hole so fast, No one knew he scored. Did it even make a sound? I didn't see the goal light go on or nothing. If it was on home ice, you might have known from the horn, you might have known from the fans in the corner and their reaction. But it's a game in Pittsburgh and no one moved. You know how with the Crosby goal we talked about, you'd like a save there, but it's a pretty good shot? That's insane. That's wow. That's Matthews' 22nd of the season, and that brings him back up to a 40-goal pace on the season. Not bad considering how he started the season. Injured, and then he was away for a month. Injured. He had a cold February, though. Only 1 goal. Granted, that was only 8 games, but we're not really used to seeing Matthews only get 1 goal in 8 games. And while his two-way play at the Four Nation faceoff was really good, again, where are the goals? Isn't this the best goal scorer on the planet? So, really good to see him start off March right. And by the way, it's still only tied! Both teams take a 10-11 minute break from being absolutely unhinged and certifiable until Brian Rust. In a battle with Oliver Ekman-Larsson, neither man gets called. Rust with a break towards the net. Oh no, he's about to pants us. That's a really good goal. I need that to not be the game-winning goal. I don't think I'm going to be able to handle that. Brian Rust with the feed from Sid because, of course, Pittsburgh takes back the 4-3 lead, and we head into intermission. Oh, wait, there's more. Less than a minute to go in the second. Jake McCabe, I don't know when he started doing this, but he's been doing this a lot this season. A bullet up the ice to John Tavares for the breakaway. Could I show you something really funny? I don't care how many points he gets. I'm pretty sure if Mike Sullivan could throw Eric Carlson in the Tiger Cave from Aladdin and leave him there, he would. Where are you going? He had enough time to go to the bench and look down at the iPad and watch John Tavares' breakaway goal in real time. Because that's what he did! His 23rd of the season, somehow the 15th assist for McCabe. With passes like that, he had an unreal one on the feed to the Nylander goal the other night, and I just forgot about it on account of, the other team scored on their own net, and it was funny. I also have made so many videos over the last 48 hours that I forgot it was the New York Rangers. That's why I called them the other team. Tied 4-4, and now we go to I'm sorry, no. Let's play a little game called Does Your NHL Coach Want to Murder You with an Axe? Today's contestants, the Pittsburgh Penguins, who, as you can see here, have an offensive zone face-off with 5.7 seconds to go in the second period. It's a very good position, Tom. Let's see how it goes. As an added extra prize, the Penguins actually win that face-off. So let's ask our studio audience, how do you think it went?
Penguins goal.
Good answer. Let's see what happened. Oh, I'm sorry. Good guess, but it's actually a goal against.
I knew it. No.
Matthew Knies! Wrister laser beam with 0.1 seconds to go in the second past Plumquist. And he knew it too. He knew it counted. The whole bench knew it counted. And it's his champagne goal of the season too. Number 23 for number 23. And it's 5-4 Leafs. That is one of the most unbelievable Leaf goals, definitely of this season. But I think that I've ever seen in the history of doing LFR. It's got to be the latest goal that the Leafs have ever scored. I didn't even think the thing counted. Watching it in real time, I'm like, there's no chance. I'm like trying to look down at the puck and the clock at the same time, and by the time I can't even get through it. By the time I looked at the puck, looked at the clock, and looked back at the puck again, there was less than a second to go. Of course he didn't score. He did! And the Leafs take a 5-4 lead into second intermission, and we start the third. It's tied. That wasn't even popping the balloon of happiness. That was just letting it go from the bottom. Ricard Raquel, who the Leafs should have drafted but didn't because they traded picks to Anaheim so they could draft Tyler Beggs. I'm never gonna forgive them. It's true. A lot of younger Leaf fans don't know about that one. It was the pick that drafted Tyler Beggs for 2 picks. One of them drafted Ricard Raquel. He's pretty good. And who was the other one? Oh, John Gibson. Yep. Yeah, you know how, well, the Ducks are not very good now, but you know how they were great for like a long time there, like playoff contenders all the time? Yeah, the Leafs did that. And these two silly gooses of teams who have combined for 10 goals up to this point did the funniest thing they could possibly do. They did not score for the next 20 minutes and it went to overtime, which is mean. Honestly, when the Penguins tied it, they should have just canceled the rest of the third period. We all knew what was going to happen. Oh, Steve, that's pretty confident. Eric Carlson hit the post. Yeah, that doesn't even count as a shot on goal. Shut up. When the Penguins tied it, we all knew it was going to overtime. Stop. Leafs had been bitten a few times real bad in overtime last season, and especially early on in this one. Really
really solid defending the last couple overtimes. Really solid puck management and bench management. Mitch Marner conducted things in Boston. I thought Morgan Rielly did a great job in this overtime. Not so much the whole rest of the game, but he did a great job in this overtime. Gives it to William Nylander. That's always a good idea. And he rips the thing casual. His 35th of the season that he might have shot from his bed. And the Leafs take a ridiculous one, 6-5, for their 5th straight win. Here's what I think you do. You crumple it up and you throw it over your shoulder. Is that the goalie Joseph Woll is? I don't think so, no. He's getting over an illness. He hasn't given us reason to think that's what he is. He has not. I was about to say that no one on the Leafs D-Corps had a good night, which was true, until I saw Simone Benoit was a +3. Connor Timmins was only a +2, but he had a goal. Philip Myers played over 20 minutes. Yeah, they need Tanev back, please. What a silly game. What a silly, silly game. Questions. Why are afternoon games always fire drills? See, I think if you often play afternoon games, they're probably not. They're just normal games. But the Leafs, who very rarely play afternoon games, that's weird. I was about to say I saw an afternoon game in Toronto that was normal. The Leafs beat the Islanders 3-1. And then I remembered that wasn't normal at all. Both teams had a disallowed goal, one for offside and the other for goalie interference, and Patrick Waugh pulled his goalie on a defensive zone draw. Afternoon games are fun. And I gotta be honest, I could take or leave afternoon games before I have kids. Now I have kids, and please, more afternoon games. I love being able to watch the game with my kids, man. When they're on the Western road trip, forget it, unless they're up puking. Please no. It's nice. It was nice watching that on the couch with Leo. Willie wins it in overtime, and we both jump up and down and celebrate. It was awesome. Are we concerned with our defense and special teams since the return from the break? Does Brad do anything at the deadline to address this? Okay, power play, wasn't good in this one, but overall, I'm not too worried about them. Second unit can score. We know the first unit can score. And outside of the first bit of the season where they were god-awful, they've actually been pretty good. The drop-off in the penalty kill is definitely concerning. Some of that is Tanev is out. Understood. This was not Oliver Ekman-Larsson's best game as a Leaf. Bless Timmins because he had a good game and he scored in this one. He wouldn't be in my playoff lineup if I had my way. Myers definitely wouldn't either. If someone's injured and they have to play, I'm comfortable with them. But if given the option, I would definitely like the Leafs to go out and get a big right-handed D. Not named Yanni Hakanpää because he's a myth. Knies' goal has to be a contender for goal of the season, right? Honestly, yes, but also that might not even be the best goal of the season from Matthew Knies. The kid is sick, and there's a reason why every time we talk about a huge trade for the Leafs, I'm talking a blockbuster, people throw Knies' hat, name in the hat, name in the ring, hat in the ring. Anyway, they talk about trading Matthew Knies, and I'm like, no, actually, that would ruin my life, I think. He's disgusting. He's filthy. He's nasty. Sign him to 8 years unless you can convince Gary Bettman to change the rules, and then in that case, sign him for 20. He's that good, and I love him. I don't love him more than, my dad or my son, but, he's a top 20 man in my life, I think. Anyway, that is what a ridiculous game. That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Gosh, I've uploaded so much content over the past few days. Trade reaction to Nyquist going to Minnesota. Trade reaction to the big trade between Colorado and New York. Trade reaction to the Seth Jones trade to Florida. And on this channel, the Leafs signed Boreavalis out of the WHL. I did a breakdown along with footage of Boreavalis because we have an agreement between SDPN and the WHL. More details on that on tomorrow's episode of the Steve Dangle podcast. My goodness, that's so many words. Did I do the tell all your friends thing? They won.